friends, welcome back to Referral Mastery. This is the second last session. Today we're going to talk about how to build a database quickly if you don't have one. This is a very common question I've been asked through the years. People look at the system that I'm teaching, they have a look at this apple tree diagram and they see the sense of it. Yes, I can see if I build relationships with enough people and I'm keeping in touch and I'm asking for referrals that I'll be able to build up my business. But here's my problem, Stephen, I don't have a database. I've just moved into the area or I'm a pretty new agent. I don't have a lot of past clients. What do I do? Well, hopefully we're going to answer that question today, or at least I'm going to get you thinking, and you can take some of the principles you learned today into some of the other creative ideas that you will have. So let's just have a quick look at the apple tree. It should be populated as the one on the screen. And as you'll see, we're just about done today. We're going to do the final two written communication tools on the left-hand side under the sunshine there. And what I'm hoping is that this apple tree, now having worked through it so meticulously, will make sense to you when you look at any of its constituent parts, such that you can print it out and put it up in your office. So that anytime you want to, you can look at that apple tree and look through it and be reminded of certain techniques or disciplines. That's the purpose of the apple tree. It gives you one place where the whole system is represented. Okay, so building a database quickly, we're going to start by looking at this program called the Mutual Endorsement Plan. What is the Mutual Endorsement Plan? Well, it involves you and another trusted business person referring each other to each other's databases using the mutual endorsement letters. So this is a business-to-business referral mechanism or plan that you're going to enter into with someone whom you trust, and obviously they will need to trust you as well. So let's say you've got a great relationship with a local lender or a CPA or someone of that nature, and you both are looking to grow your businesses and you'd like to be introduced to each other's clients. You'd like to sort of cross-sell one another's businesses. This is a plan designed to do that. Here's the activity. Select quality business professionals whom you can refer and approach them with an idea to refer each other to each other's client bases. Show them the sample letters to help you explain. Make sure that there is something in it for your advocates, like a coupon, discount, or item of value from the other business person. So maybe if it's a CPA or a financial planner, they would do a free assessment of the finances of your clients, something of that nature. Just something of value that business owner would be willing to offer your advocates, so that when you send out the letter to your advocates promoting that person's business, it's not just a letter promoting their business, and I have negotiated this special deal, this discount, this coupon, whatever it is, for my trusted clients, and that goes with the letter. So you should be looking at a workbook. I hope that you've realized over the 13 sessions we've done so far, there is a workbook with every session that you do in this course. In the workbook, the letters, which I will put on the screen for you now, are in the workbook, so you can clearly read them there. You can cut and paste them if you need to. Obviously, there's one letter that you send to your advocates about the other business owner with the coupon or the discount, but then there's another letter that they send to their clients about you. So how do you follow up? Once these letters have been sent out to each other's databases, well, if you've been following carefully and you've kind of understood the whole principle behind working by referral and the dialogues, you should be able to answer this question on your own by now, but here it is. Phone through the other business owners list, introduce yourself, and use the database filter dialog. So you're going to be phoning through and saying, hey, it's Steve Johnson speaking. You recently got a letter from John Smith, your CPA, about my real estate services. Just wanted to phone and introduce myself to you personally, chit chat. And then I wanted to ask you, if you were buying or selling your home, or you had a friend or a family member who was, do you have an agent you'd refer them to? And if they say, no, I don't, you say, great, I'd love to be of service to you or your family and friends whenever you need it, and I'd love to keep in touch with you. How does that sound? Great, keep in touch. Wonderful, what's the best email address to get you on? And boom, they go onto your database. And you just phone through the whole list and do that. It's a great way to build your database quickly with a big chunk of people by being endorsed to them by someone that they trust, another business owner. You get the idea. All right, the next idea I'm going to give you is the absorption plan. What is the absorption plan? Well, it's a system designed to increase your referral base by taking over the database of someone who is leaving or has left the business. So do people leave real estate? Having become a real estate agent, do they then leave the industry? Of course they do all the time. Well, what happens to all of their past clients? It's that group of orphans that you are now going to absorb into your business. So here's the activity. Send out a series of endorsement style letters with a promotional picture of both of you in it. The letter is in your workbook. As you read through that letter, you're going to see who is the sender. The sender of the letter is the agent who is leaving or has recently left the industry. You're still in touch with them and they're open to doing this. And the letter is from them to their past clients saying, hey, I've decided to pursue other interests in life, but I wanted to make sure that you are in the hands of someone whom I trust should you or your family and friends have property matters. And I'd like to introduce you to Steve Johnston. So they endorse you to their previous clients. That's the purpose of the letter. It'll make sense when you read through it. How do you follow up the absorption plan? And sorry, I just want to make one point here. Who's drafting these letters? Who's putting them in envelopes? Who's putting the stamp on the envelope? Maybe you want to duplicate them by email as well. Who's doing all that work? You are doing it. You don't expect the previous agent to draft the letters and print them and put them in envelopes and stamp them and mail them off. You are doing them. All you're going to do is get their signature. You might even get a digital signature if they're happy to give you one so that you can do the whole thing. Don't leave the admin up to them. You take responsibility of the whole project. The letters get sent out. How do you follow up? Well, you definitely know the answer to that now. You follow up with a phone call, you introduce yourself personally, and then you qualify them or you filter them using that database filter dialog. The next idea, it's similar to the absorption plan. We call this the client adoption plan. What's the difference? The absorption plan works if you still have contact with the agent who is leaving or has left and they trust you and they like you and they're willing to send the letters. So you're still in touch. There's another group of people, if you are part of a team or maybe you're part of a brokerage that has got agents that have left in the past, you're not in touch with those agents. They can't send a letter to their past clients now about you. But there's this group of orphans, their past clients, who no one has now kept in touch with and the agent is long gone. They're sitting on a beach in Tahiti. How do you kind of adopt those clients for yourself? Well, that's what these letters are designed to do. Many times there are clients who have been served by your team in the past whom no one has kept in touch with. The client adoption plan recaptures those relationships that previous representatives from your team did not maintain. Here's the activity. Ask your team leader or your principal or your broker if you can access the old files of those who have left your team in the past 3 years. Send out a letter introducing yourself. Now again, just want to remind you, not everybody's going to do this. If you've been an agent for 5 or 10 years and you've got lots of past clients and you've got 100, 200 advocates already to start with, you don't need to do this. These are ideas for you if you're a brand new agent or maybe you've just moved into a new area. You've moved to a new city. You are needing desperately a way to build a database quickly if you don't have one. These are ideas for you. So not everybody's going to do this. But in this case, you'll see there's 2 options on letters. They're in your workbook. On the left-hand side of that screen, there is the letter from the business owner or the team leader or the broker to that database about you. So your team leader is sending out a letter on behalf of the team saying, hey, Mrs. Jones, you were a wonderful client of ours in the past. The agent that represented you has pursued other interests, but I, as the team leader, would like to introduce you to one of our other agents whom I trust, whom I've asked to contact you so that you've got someone who's there to look after you. That's the one option. If your team leader or principal or broker will not send that letter, you can, plan B, send a letter from yourself about yourself. Obviously, it's better if the team leader sends it, but hey, you work with what you got. So that's what the letter on the right-hand side is. It's the adoption letter from you about you. And then same story afterwards, you follow through with a phone call, you introduce yourself, and you use the database filter dialog on them. Wanted to ask you, if you were buying or selling your home, you had a friend or a family member who was, do you have an agent you'd refer them to? If they say no, I'd love to be in touch. What's the best email address to get you on? Okay, so I want you to fill in your Apple tree. Those are the final 2 written communication tools. Number 6 is the endorsement letters. That's kind of business to business referrals. And then number 7 are those 2 plans I just gave you, the absorption and the client adoption plans. That's number 7. Okay, so make sure your Apple tree is up to date. Okay, I've got a couple more ideas for you. The first one is housewarming parties. The housewarming party is a great way to build your database while continuing your exceptional service after the transaction is complete. In your initial presentation to prospective clients, include this as a service you provide. Together, decide in advance which costs you will cover personally. You're not promising to pay for the housewarming party, you're promising to organize it if they would like you to do so. So here's the little dialogue that you would use with your clients, so that you will do this with your buyers. They move in, you're helping them get settled in, and you're going to say something like this. I'd like to tell you about a service I provide to each of my clients. 60 to 90 days after you move, I would like to host a housewarming party to celebrate your new home. While you are getting settled, I'll make sure that everyone that you would like to be there is invited. All you need to do is provide me with a guest list, and I'll get started with the planning. Does that sound like something you would like me to do for you? Some will say yes, some will say no. If they say yes, it's a great way to build your database quickly, because now you are being introduced as the realtor of choice to all of their family and friends who come to the housewarming party, and you get to have multiple touches with these people leading up to the housewarming party, because you're the one sending out the invitations. You are at the housewarming party, meeting them, shaking hands, drinking coffee, making friends, and then you follow up afterwards with handwritten notes, we'll get to that in a second, and then phone calls, adding them to your database using the database filter dialog. So housewarming parties, there's a sample invitation for you. You'll find that in the workbook as well. Here's the activity. Send out invitations on their behalf, on your buyer's behalf. Call 2 to 3 days in advance to confirm attendees. Send thank you notes to all attendees, and follow up telephonically with the database filter dialog. And obviously you are at the housewarming party itself, so you've had multiple touches with these people. It's a great way to build the database. Then I want to look at change of address cards. It's a similar idea for people who don't want to do the schlep of a whole housewarming party. Maybe they would like you to do change of address cards. Change of address cards are a great way to continue your exceptional service after the transaction is complete, and to build your database. In your initial presentation, include this as a service you provide. So change of address cards, here's what the little dialogue with your clients would sound like. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I want to tell you about a service I provide to each of my clients if they would like me to. After people move in, there are always hundreds of things to do, and one of them is notifying your family members, friends, business associates of your new address. I'd like to send change of address cards for you. These are personalized cards with a photo I've taken of you in front of your new home. All you need to do is provide me with a list of everyone that you'd like to be notified, and I'll take care of the rest. Does that sound like something that you would like me to do for you? And again, on the screen, you will see examples of a change of address card. It's like a postcard. It's not in an envelope. It's just double-sided postcard, and then you can follow up with a phone call afterwards. Here are some tips. Show them a sample card to create enthusiasm. Give the client a pre-formatted form to put the addresses and telephone numbers on, or maybe you want to email them an Excel spreadsheet that's got like columns in it, and then give them a date on which you will collect this. Take a picture of your clients in front of their new home, and if they don't want to stand in front of their new home and for a photo pose, just of their new home. And then after you've sent them, what's the follow-up? Well, you phone through this database of people, confirm that they received the card, and use the database filter dialog. And then you're going to send a handwritten note to those whom you will be adding to your database. And let me add, for all of the previous plans that I've taught you in this video, that is a good practice. If someone says, yeah, I'll keep in touch, no problem, you add them to your database, a little handwritten note would go a long way then to bring warmth to that relationship immediately. It was great chatting to you. It was great meeting you. I look forward to keeping in touch with you. If there's ever anything I can do, please let me know. Stephen. That's all it says in the note. It doesn't have to be complicated. I want to give you one last idea for building a database quickly, because this really, in my mind, is still the most powerful tool in real estate, and it works so well if you have a referral system. And I'm going to talk about open houses. I'm a big fan of open houses, but I think agents should use open houses in order to make relational connections with people that they then keep in touch with, so that the referral system augments or underpins all the work you're doing on open houses. Now, open houses is a big topic, and there is a lot to learn about them, and if you do them well, they can completely transform your business. And so instead of trying to rush through some techniques here, what I've done is I've created a separate resource. It is a video, it's a video of a webinar that I did with one of the top agents in South Africa. His name is Brad Neal, and he has made an absolute fortune focusing his entire business on open houses. That's how he has built the empire that he's built. So he leads a team called the Legacy Team, and he is brilliant with open houses. So what I've done, in the workbook that you have, you will see the image of the YouTube video, like a YouTube thumbnail of that session I did with Brad. And then below it, there is the little workbook for that session. If you click those two images in the workbook that you've got, they are hyperlinked. The YouTube video takes you to the session on YouTube so you can watch it, and obviously the workbook takes you to a Google Drive where you can download the workbook. So please make time, maybe get together with some agents that you know and do that session on open houses, because it is incredibly powerful. The workbook that came along with that session is actually a book that Brad and I wrote together. It's called The Book on Open Houses. We're swinging for the fences on the title, and it is a 21-point blueprint for running successful open houses from Brad's 19 years of experience. I strongly suggest you download that little booklet and you watch the video that accompanies it. Okay, steps toward mastery for the next 2 weeks. Keep up with your items of value, your calls, your Pop-Bys, and your handwritten notes. Now remember, what's working by referral? Calls, notes, and Pop-Bys undergirded by a monthly item of value. That's what it means to work by referral. Now I'm asking you just to keep up with the regularity of those things. Finally, if necessary, I would like you to choose a strategy to build your database quickly and go and implement it. So if that applies to you, if you need to build a database quickly, choose something from today and go and do it. In our next session, we are going to wrap up the whole Referral Mastery course with an incredibly important discussion on the frequency or regularity of contact needed. We're going to look at some research that was done, and based on that, I'm going to bring together all the goals that we've set so that you know what your daily and weekly goals are. We're going to bring this whole complex system together in our next session so that you're going to have simple goals for each day and each week, and I think that's very powerful. The other thing that we will do is talk about daily discipline and how you go about implementing a system like this that does require consistency over time. Those are very important discussions to close with, and I look forward to being with you then. So God bless you, and I'll see you in our next session.